Tune couldn't hold him, now the grave looking weak. 3 days later, victory repeat. Crown full of thorns, turn to glory and gold. Now a story.
And we are back at the OPP, the Oquendo Perspective. First and foremost, I would thank my Yahuwah, the Most High, for this opportunity. Without him, none of this would be possible. Remember this. He is the way, the truth, and the life. All honor, power, and glory belongs to him, and he does this as he pleases. So if he wants to glorify somebody, he does it. If he wants to honor somebody, he does it. It's all his. With that being said, my name is Eddy Oquendo. I am your host today. So I haven't been here. I've been able to get into the studio for about a month now. I'll fill you guys in a minute about what's been going on. It's also hectic because of this time of year, with the holidays going on and everybody's busy. So I've been in here, so I apologize to you guys. The last time I gave a teaching on the origin of Abram, and my intent was to come and finish off his story. So I gave like half his story, and I was about to come back and gave the second half of the story. But most of the stuff that I'm talking about, you cannot find it in the Bible. You got to find it in the Book of Jasher, Book of Jubilees, and it's just awesome to be able to see things that, there's gaps in the Bible. It jumps from time jumps, but you got these other books who kind of fill you in on those jumps. So my intent was to come in here and talk about the second part of his life, because I just want to introduce you guys to where Yahuwah, he made the covenant with Abraham, and I wanted to let everybody see how saying the 12 tribes came to be. It all started with Abraham, and they moved on to his son Isaac, and from Isaac it moved on to Jacob. So I talked about Abraham. The next podcast, I'll come in and I'll finish off the story of Abraham and talk a little bit about Isaac and his sons. So like I said, that was my intent. But today, I guess the Father wanted me to talk about, the good things that the Father's been doing in my life. So as you guys know, I don't know, probably in April, my book got published, and it's been a little hectic. But see, it didn't stop there. So some other stuff has been happening since then. So I had I met with a couple of Hollywood producers, agents, to try to make my book into a film. So I just gotta change it from book format to screenwriting format, and then the people that I interviewed me, they wanted me to take this one course on screenwriting. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's at Michigan State University. I do it online, so it's quick and simple. And then here's Screenwriter's Bible. I've been reading this. Try to get my book rightly formatted for the screen. So that's basically that's why I've been able to get in here, because I've been dealing with these people. So basically, what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna pitch to you guys, the audience, what I actually pitched to them. Okay, so it was the same thing. It was a Zoom call because I'm out here in Chicago. And I met with, like I said, some Hollywood agents. So it was a Zoom call. So it'll be basically just like this. I was talking to a screen, and they were basically the same thing. So here we go. This is the pitch that I had to give them. But first and foremost, all honor, power, and glory belongs to the Father, because he's set everything up for me. Everything is just falling into place. And without him, like I said, none of this will be possible. So here we go. The pitch that I pitched to them. So so it all started about, I would say maybe last September or October. One of those months. It started there, you know? And it all started with a dream. Okay? It was a dream. And in the dream, it was like I don't know, it was like so surreal that, you know, and when I woke up, it was like, oh man, I gotta do this. You know, if I'm dreaming about it, you know, hey, let me go ahead and put this down on paper, and let's try to get a book out of it. Okay, so here's the dream. So I was dreaming, okay, and it all started with flashbacks of a period of my life. It was like a 9-month period of my life. Some of you guys might know some of the story because I've given a little bit of it, but I'm gonna expand it a little more. Okay, so it all started with like flashbacks in my dreams, which I was like reliving those 9 months that that the book's about. Okay, so then in the dream, so in the dream, I see myself. Okay, so what happened was this. My house burnt down. It was my son's birthday. We were partying, you know, staying with my son, had some family over, and we kicking and hanging out with the family, you know, Boricua style, you know how we do it. And all of a sudden, we smelled some smoke, and I smelled wires burning and smoke, and I'm like, oh no! And my son he was turning 6 years old, so I'm like, oh no, hey everybody, let's go outside, boom, let's get out of here, okay? So I'm going to kind of shorten it down for you guys. I'm not going to use the whole spiel, you know, shorten it down. So long story short, my house burnt down. Okay. I witnessed, me, my mom, my brother, and people who were there, you know, visiting that day, my family and stuff. We witnessed our lives go up in flames. Now, since they weren't living there, we told everybody, guys, go home, relax, and we'll let you guys know what's going on. So it's me, my mom, my brother, and my son and his mother was there, and we're sitting there watching our house being engulfed by flames. Okay, we called the fire department. Luckily, the fire department and the station is only 2 blocks away, so they were able to make it quickly, but it didn't really matter. The fire got so intense that at one point flames just started bursting out of the ceiling, and we saw all these firemen running. They were all running out like something was gonna blow up or something, you know. So I'm watching, and the whole time I'm thinking like, oh man, I'm about to lose everything. All my, back in the day, I mean, this was like 20 years ago. 2000. This was 2006, no, 2008. Sorry, 2008. In 2008. Everything wasn't digital yet. Most of my memories was on Polaroids. Everything. It wasn't. I didn't have anything like saved anywhere. So I'm sitting there watching my life turn upside down right in front of me, and then I started asking my question: what is tomorrow gonna look like? What is life gonna look like tomorrow when you see everything just go up in flames in a matter of a couple hours? Okay. So anyways, the insurance came in. They put us up at a hotel for a couple of days, for like maybe 2 weeks, I think, or something like that. And then they found a place for us to live while our house was being fixed, refurbished. So we go to this new house, okay? And when we get there, we realize that we weren't alone. There was entities living in that house already, okay? So at first it was like nonchalantly, they at first, when we first moved in, they weren't really aggressive about it. They were, so I would hear like little footsteps running up and down the hallway while at nighttime while I'm sleeping. I'd get up and I'd open the door and I look side to side. I don't want to see anything. I'm like, man. So, it was, little things like that. The garage door would open and close by itself, and I'm like, man, this is something's not right here, So I ended up asking my mom, my brother, if they have similar situations, and like, yeah, us too, okay. So when we first moved in, we had rented some furniture. But Running Center got the wrong move-in date. So the first like 2-3 days, we had no furniture. It was just like we were sleeping on the carpet. We just threw down some covers on the ground. And and as a family, me, my mom, my brother, we just we just huddled up and slept together and did what we had to do. So once Running Center came, it was like the entities realized, oh, we got some new people living with us. All right. So I'm gonna skip to the towards the end because it was a 20-minute spiel, and I'm not gonna take all the time right now. But basically, at the last day so everything was cool while the furniture was there. Okay. Now it was cool for my mom, my brother. Now for me, for some reason, one of the entities was given an assignment to take my life. So I was going through a difficult time. That was a rough 9 months of my life. During those 9 months, they saying if you want to read the book is called Treacherous by Eddy Oquendo. So what happened was then so the last day. Let's get to the last day, okay? The last day, like things were happening to me, but not to my parent, to my mom, my brother, but nothing really happened inside the house. Everything that happened to me was outside the house, okay? So the last day I was there, and the reason I know that the entities got aggressive is because as soon as Running Center came and took their furniture away, everything changed. They kind of knew, we have the time that they had to finish off their assignment was coming to an end. Okay, so this is the last day. Okay, remember, Running Center came and took everything. So here we are back on the carpet, saying we're just throwing them some pillows and some covers, And so we're sleeping, right? I'm sleeping. We're all sleeping. We're sleeping together on the floor, All of a sudden that day, the Most High Yahuwah, he gave me the opportunity to go through something, to actually see what I was living, what had been going on in my life for the past 9 months. Okay. So then I was sleeping. I woke up. I started walking around and I'm like, oh, something doesn't look it didn't look the same. It was the same house, but the color was different. It was just foggy. It was foggy. It wasn't clear. It was like the best way to describe it was like walking through a heavy fog in the morning, something like that. That's the way it was. Okay, and I'm walking. I'm like, what's going on? So I happen to look back, and I look back, and bam, I see myself sleeping right next to my mom, and my brother. They're sleeping. I'm like, what is going on here? All of a sudden, I see a little kid dart across the living room. So now I was like, oh, now I see who was making those noises before. Okay, because this little kid, and he's darting. He darts. He notices me looking at him. But he's been there for 9 months. I haven't been able to see him for 9 months, so he just kept darting off. I actually, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I got frightened. I don't know. There's like this emotion came over me, and I was frightened, and I ran back towards my body. And I ended up waking up, and I woke up. I was like, what's going on? What am I going through? What am I going through? What is this? What is this? What's going on to me? But I was able to convince myself, hey, you know what? It must have been just a dream. Don't worry about it. Go back to bed. So I ended up going back to bed. Boom. As soon as I go to sleep, it was like my spiritual eyes open, and I opened, and the little 4-year-old was like looking at me, like we were eye to eye, nose to nose. He's like, "Can you see me?" He's like poking me. "Can you see me?" I'm like this. So he gets up and notices that I see him. He gets up and runs towards the hallway and to the back room. So I'm like, this time I'm like, I want to see what's going on. So I go and I dart over there and I see him, and then there was another entity. This guy was by maybe like 12 12, 13, 14 years old. I mean, it was around that age frame. And I see him scolding the little guy. And he's telling the little guy, stop trying to help him, because if you help them, you're gonna get us in trouble. He's gonna come punish us. You know, and I'm watching this. And all of a sudden the little kid sees me again, and the other little older guy, he saw me too. And now the little guy darts towards me. So he starts running towards me. I'm like at the door, and they're inside a room. I'm at the door frame. They're inside the room, and he starts darting towards me. And as he darts towards me, he's yelling. He's yelling, "Get out of here! Get out of here! He's not gonna let you go. Get out of here!" And as he darts towards me, and the other kids, the older character, the other guy, the little old guy, they chased him. All I know is I was like frozen, and they both spirits just ran right through me. Fa. And as they ran right through me, I felt like wind, like, whoa. Again, I got frightened. I said, "Oh no, what's going on?" So I run back. I run back towards my body, and boom, I wake up. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? But I'm waking up, and everything's the same. There's nothing going on in the house. Everything is calm. It was calm. My mom and brother sleeping. I'm the only one that's having a tough time that night. It's me. Okay. So I do some meditation exercises, some breathing exercises. I calmed down. I was able to convince myself, you know what? I'm just having a rough night. I have tough dreams, whatever, So I was able to convince myself, go ahead, just go back to sleep. So bam, I go back to sleep. As soon as I go back to sleep, I wake up again. My spirit tries to wake up again. And now I hear a thunderous voice. So that's okay. My bad. Before I fell asleep the second time, when they were darting through me, I got frightened. And what frightened me even more was that there was this voice. It was like a thunderous voice that ran through the whole house. Like it was echoing through the whole house, and it felt like an earthquake shaking the house. And he was just screaming. And I'm like, what? And that's what got me. That plus the feeling the kids went by me. That's what got me like, like I was scared. I was scared. I felt like I don't know. I just felt this. I was afraid. So when I wake up, I hear the voice again, and now they're in the kitchen. So I get up. I'm like, you know what? I see the kids and the other guy. They're still like arguing over there in the corner. And then I hear another. I can't see him, but I hear an entity. Calm down. Shut up. Just yelling at the kids. So I walk in, and I look over to the side, and there he was. There was this entity. He must have been 10, between 12 and 10 feet, because his back was, the ceiling was like here, and he's like this on the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So he's standing up, but he's hunched over like this. He's hunched over like this on the ceiling, and he's doing something. I can't see what he was doing. It looked like he was sharpening knives or something. It looks like he was doing something. I don't know exactly what it was, because like I said, he was facing the other way, and I'm facing his back. So then all of a sudden he's yelling at the children, and for some odd reason, so his head turned just a little bit at first towards the kids. I was right behind him, so it's he could. I don't think he could see me, but I could see him. But I think he noticed the kids looking at me, and his head just kept twisting. He didn't move. Just his head turned around 180 degrees. And we locked on eyes. Boom, boom, we locked on eyes. When that happened, it was like time folded on itself. Time folded on itself. While I was there, I was in 4 car accidents. This entity, 4 car accidents, that should have taken my life. 4 different times. This entity, he when he like I said, when we locked eyes, the time full and stuff, and I was able to witness my own accidents. So I'm watching myself get into these accidents and how they happen. Okay. So if you know me, whenever I get tired, I tend to play my hair, just twirl it just soothes me and just knocks me out, So here, now I'm witnessing my own accidents, and what was going on is as I'm driving, this huge entity was sitting there playing with my hair, just like I do when I put myself to sleep, playing my hair, and he's lullabying me. Now, I was in 4 different accidents. All 4 of them could have been, they were life threatening. But like I said, every time, if you want to get the the nitty gritty of the story, you're gonna have to get the book. But so what I noticed was each time that he lullabied me, all I did was it was like I had like a the epilepsy, that when you just fall asleep like this, so that's what happened. He was, and all of a sudden I'm wide awake. All of a sudden, boom, and I would get in accidents. Each time that I made impact, or each time something happened, there was like right before the accident, there was like a flash of light. Boom, the flash of light each time, 4 different times. I'll tell you about one accident. One of the accidents, I fell asleep on a curvy road. I was driving by these long. They're fences. They had like long wooden fences, logs. So I fell asleep, and I went down a ditch. I went through the fence, and one of those logs came in and was resting on my shoulder right here, and I had to cut my ear. So like I said, a couple more inches that way, I'd have been gone. Okay, so I'm witnessing my own accidents, So I'm like, oh, now, because the whole time I'm thinking while things were going on to me, I didn't even know what was going on. I thought something was wrong with me. I went to the doctor, make sure that, hey, check me out. Everything came out good. I was healthy. But now I get to see what's going on. So then as soon as I witness myself in my accidents, the time unfolded on itself, and now I'm back in the kitchen, and we're looking at each other. Now this he is upset. He's like, you could just tell it, anger. He was just angry, mad. He turned around and he lunged at me. Wow! He tried to grab me. When he did that, I was like, oh, and I started running. Back away from him, back towards my body. And as I'm running, I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna kill me. Oh my God. And I'm saying, oh, Father, help me. So then I was able to go back into my body. I woke up. This time I started yelling at my mom, my brother, hey, let's get the, hey, let's get the F out of here right now. We gotta go. We gotta get the F out of here right now. And I was explaining to them, we gotta go. But they can tell them that I was for real because in my face, that was, let's get out of here. So then I explained what happened when we left. Okay. So like I said, that was the last night. So we left a couple things there. The next day, we go back to get our stuff, to turn the keys. And as we're leaving, I take one final look back at the house, and there was this, that blinds. One of the blinds, it was like somebody was holding and watching us drive away. Okay, that's kind of the pitch that I gave them, and they were interested. And they emailed me back, and they got me taking this course, a screenwriting course, just to be able to turn my book format into a screenwriter format. They're gonna help me out with that, and once that gets done, and then hopefully doors. Hey, all power and glory belongs to Him. I'm gonna allow Him to do His thing, and get me to where He wants me to be. Okay, so that's what's been going on this last month. I've been dealing with these people and this stuff. So that's why I've been able to get in here. But hey, the Father, he's so awesome. He's awesome. If you allow Him to do what He wants for you to do, hey, He's gonna get you there. He's gonna get you there, no problem. Okay. So that was like it was the pitch exactly, but it was something like that. I had to shorten it out a little bit because if you guys want to see the story, you either gotta wait for the film or you can read the book, But that was just the gist of the book. Okay. So, like I said, I came with the intent. I'm talking about the second part of Father Abraham's story, but I came here to let you guys know why I haven't been here. This is what I've been. This is what the Father has been working on now. But I did want to talk about a couple of downloads that the Father gave me not too long, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe. And it just put things into perspective for me. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and read a word first, a word verse in the Bible, and it's gonna be on Luke chapter 18, verse 8. Okay, so listen to these words, okay, and then the downloads are gonna make more sense, okay. So this is chapter 8. I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, this is the important part. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? So see, right then and there, when he's talking, that's Yahushua talking. It's in red. That's Yahushua talking. He's so awesome that he looked into the future and he saw us right now. He saw us right now, and he told his people, you know what? When I come back, am I going to find faith in this world? So remember that. Is he gonna find faith? Now here goes the downloads, and I got my brother Freddie. He's also a host for the perspective, kind of perspective, but he's also like a whiz, a genius when it comes to like AI stuff and doing stuff like that. So I'm gonna tell you guys the download, speak it, but I think he's gonna try to make a video so you can kind of see what I saw in my download. Okay, so so this is what it is. I know everybody. If you have kids or we were kids ourselves. I don't know if you guys remember, like kindergarten, first grade, second grade. When you were kids, you guys always had that Christmas. What do you call it? When you guys sing to the parents, recital. Yeah, Christmas recital. You sing to the parents. And there's then there's always that one kid who can't find his parents and is like lost, but everybody else is happy and he's lost. Okay, that was the download. So I'm sitting there, and now I'm a kid. I must have been maybe first, second grade, who knows, one of those two grades. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking. So I'm looking at myself and my face. I was like sad. I was like, everybody else is happy. All of the kids are happy around me, waving. They're waving, hey, hi. They're waving. Everybody's like this, and I'm over here. I can't find my people. And when you're that one kid that can't find his people, you get down, sad, and more sad and more sad. And you know what? And I couldn't find my people. I was like, man, you know what? And I was like, I felt like, I felt sad for myself, like, man, that's messed up. But then the view changed. Instead of now, you guys like me looking at me, now I was the actual kid looking at the crowd. Okay. And as I'm looking at the crowd, they weren't parents. What they were a whole bunch of deities. There's Santa Claus was there. Allah, Buddha, Thor, all pagan gods, all the guys you can think of. They were out there. They were the ones listening to us sing, and everybody's waving, and they're waving back, and they're waving back, and I'm over here like, oh. Man, I was just sad. But all of a sudden, I feel like, look over here. So I look off to the side, and there, I couldn't see his face because it was like a sun. I could see a figure, but I couldn't see what exactly he looked like. But I knew, and I was like, hey! I started waving, and a sense of calmness came over me. And he explains to me. He explains. He says, "Look, the road to destruction is wide. That's everybody. All the deities waving back and forth. That's the road to destruction. But the road that leads to Yahuwah is narrow. It was one little slit, and he was there. I was like, whoa. And then he comes and he flips it on me. Now, I'm in the crowd. As I'm a little kid. I'm in the crowd. And now all the deities, they were the ones on stage. Santa Claus on stage. All the deities, any little G God, any God you can think of, they were there singing, and the kids were happy, waving at their deity that they follow, you know. But then there he is again, the Most High. I couldn't see his figure. I could see it was like a sun. It was like a light. It was like a sun. It was like a light, and I could see a figure, but I couldn't see exactly his face, you know. So he is looking for his people. All the other deities are waving at their people, and he's like looking around. Remember what I said? When he comes back, this is what he said. I'll read it again. Nevertheless, when Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? So, yeah, I was there. I was in the crowd. I'm a little kid. I'm in the crowd. But he couldn't find. Everybody was waving and too busy with the other deities, and nobody was paying attention to him. I was out there. I saw him, but at first he couldn't see me. And then finally, he saw me. And everything was calming again. And he goes to me like this. A lot of times I came here and I said this. Revelation 12:9. Hey, the enemy came to destroy the whole world, to deceive the whole world. You know, every time the Father wants to clean something up, say, remember the flood. There was millions and millions of people living, but only 8 people were saved. When Sodom and Gomorrah, when they were destroyed, 3 people got saved. The rest died. It all comes back to the road to destruction is wide, but the road to him is narrow. It's very narrow. So, you know, that was the download that I had, and I was like, wow, it was very like, I don't know, just, you know, I could feel it. It was like I had empathy, whatever you want to call them. Man, I was just when I woke up, you know, when I woke up from the download, you know, I go and I tell people, and everybody's like, oh man, it was crazy. You know, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's the one thing that I tell my kids, I tell people, I really wish that you know, that people would try to get to know the Most High in a way where he can do these kind of things for everybody. I know he does it. He chooses. Yahusha chooses who to introduce the Father to. But you know, it's a very nice relationship, and I wish everybody can see some of the things that I see. And but I'm here sharing with you guys, you know, and of course you guys don't gotta listen to anything I say. Hey, you know what? Hey, it's not my job to convince you. Hey, you know what? Do your own work. Do what you gotta do for you to get right. Be right. You know. So those were the downloads that I had. So then, like once again, like I said, my intent today was to come and talk about Abraham. I talked about in the last episode. I talked about him till he was like 99, 100 years old. That's when he changed his name to Abraham, from Abram to Abraham. The part 2, I'm gonna talk about what happened between 100, because he lived to be 175 years old. So I'm gonna talk about the rest of his life, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about some other awesome stories that I did not know, but now that I read them, I'm like, man, you know what? If these books, the Book of Jubilees, the Book of Jasher, they fill in a lot of gaps. They fill them in, and it's awesome to get the whole story, not just parts of the story, and then people would just interpret it whatever way they want to interpret it. No, it's nice to just hear the whole story, and this is it. This is what it is. There's no interpretation. You know, it's like if I tell you a story, you can't interpret it. You can't like decide to change, or just because you think I was thinking differently. No, it's my story. This was his story. But people want to interpret their different ways. They want to add. They want to make whatever they interpret fit them instead of them fitting the Father. So that's what's up. That's what's up. But my people, talking about like I said, today I just came to talk to you guys. Get up with you guys. Hey, hopefully you guys are doing great during these holidays or whatever you guys decide to to follow. Hey, just hey, do what you gotta do. Hey, family. Remember that. So may Yahuwah bless everybody that who's came in today to this little episode. Just came out here to check in with you guys, let you guys know what I've been up to. I will keep filling you guys in when other things arouse and other things come into play. I'll keep you guys posted, so you guys can come with me through my journey. You've already traveled most of it. Now I give you a little more of my journey. Now come with me, and let's see what the Father has in store for me and for whoever he wants to honor and to glorify. Because like I said, all honor, power, and glory belongs to the Father. With that being said, mi gente, que le hay, my people, what it is. Like I said, may Yahuwah bless everybody. Stay safe from the kind of perspective. Stay safe. Stay smooth. Peace. I'm out.